This is Jeremy Zwinger with the Rice Trader, just summarizing the October 29th TRT report. It's been our honor just to kind of summarize what's going on in the world market and give you a few brief highlights from the report this week. Just to start, I think the whole week could be decided, at least in a lot of the market's mind, by talking about the Philippines. And we're going to talk about the Philippines on two different sides. One is the psychology of the market and people's thoughts, and then what's also going on. So let's start with what's going on so far and why the market has got so much focus about the Philippines. Right now, obviously, the focus is on the tender. What we've revealed so far is that of the tender, there's only been 47,000 actually awarded, and 203,000 of the tender is actually talked about G2G between Thailand and Vietnam. This is obviously pushing up the Thai and Viet prices again psychologically. The supplies will go there. Obviously, another 500,000 tons are supposed to also come on a G2P, G2G type basis. So again, there's a lot of authority coming from NFA, a lot of being focused on this. But also go back to the Philippines data. That's what I would suggest. The trade going on is not abnormal. In fact, it's not above average. It's normal trade between the gray trade and the normal trade. It's just the activity. I've said it many weeks. I think there's players who've got huge positions on right now, and this, as expected, this did increase price a bit during this Philippines time. We also know there's not going to be Indonesian. The Chinese issue continues to occur, and with 94 million metric tons of stocks, China doesn't need to put just a little bit on the market. It's going to continue to soften this. So I personally remain very negative on this market, as I said in my speech at the World Conference. I think, again, people are pushing this with stocks. The indications aren't for price increases on the supply and demand. The stockers may want to be very careful, and I believe cheaper prices are there. In fact, the Philippines is probably buying wrong. I would not be buying this way. It's probably increasing market prices in a way that they could definitely get cheaper prices from other origins. So obviously a lot of focus on the Philippines, and it's definitely helping Thai and Viet. Viet also has got some action going on with Cuba, which is helping. That's why prices are up again in Vietnam at 410 for 5%, where Thai is actually at a discount again to Vietnam, which you just don't see very often, which makes Thai a bit of a better buy today. The Pakistan price are still at 370, a massive discount to their competitors, and India's at 375 for higher end. But just to show you the massive discount for lower quality, brokens out of India go from 375 to 275. By far the cheapest brokens in the world remain out of India. So you really have a dichotomous market that we talked about for the last many weeks. You have cheaper origins even in Asia, and then you have this US market at 540. A massive premium. It's not logical. There's huge opportunities for players in the Americas region because of this huge price difference. The quality of Asia remains higher than the US. I know that there's politics in the US to try to attack that, but it's just not true. The hybrid chalky rice is not being well liked by the customers in this region. It's only not understanding what the Asians have to offer that's delaying trade at all. And I don't believe that'll last very long. So definitely oddness in price. You don't see these massive spreads between the four Asian origins much, and definitely not this, near $200 drop from US to Asian. Definitely $150 difference is just so massive that it's not normal forever in the history. And that's why I continue to believe that the US futures is massively overvalued. We called it from 13 to 10 correctly. For those who followed our futures market thoughts, it's dropped below 11, and we believe that the futures market will continue to drop. It should go below 10, and we also believe that deferred months are completely out of line and should be way cheaper. So again, overall, I personally remain very negative on the huge amount of global supply. It's not a good market. The general players throughout the world continue to believe 4 to 5 years of negativity in the overall grain market for a huge turnaround and a big boom. But definitely land values are probably going to soften over the next several years. I see a dropping trend. That doesn't mean there's not these short-term things where somebody tenders and pushes up price a little bit. But overall, there's a lot of negativity in this market, especially with China holding the wild card. What else can I say about this week? In the U.S., it's always been a lot of politics. A lot of trade war talk continues with the China issue. But overall, it's been a rather interesting week on that level with some price movements in the Philippines tender. What else would I say? Obviously, this week we always talk about our special sections. We have a special section on parboiled rice that I'm just going to review just briefly. We also have the monthly talk about Pakistan, where we go more in depth with the data on what Pakistan is doing so far. And so that's the key piece. And we also review some of the speeches from the World Conference that was just 2 weeks ago at this point. So with that, let's just talk a little bit about the parboiled market, just briefly before we end our quick summary of the rice trader. What we're seeing, like a lot of the market, I mean, I believe, just checking my data, the global top 5 remain down 2%. Definitely a good year, but much lower than last year, very much lower, but still a good year if you look out throughout time. But we're definitely dipping when a time we really need to be increasing trade. And you see the same thing with parboiled, significantly off in the coming year and so far, trending down from over 8 million tons to just the mid 6 million tons in the coming year. A lot of weakness out there. And different origins are doing better and worse, of course. Where the Indians and Thais, after a slow start, have had a little bit better time. There's other places that have been really competing hard as well. So overall, the takeaway from the parboiled report for me really is that supplies are definitely high, as we knew they would be, but demand has been softening. And perhaps next year is a bit better, but softer demand for sure. So with that, I don't think I have much else to say. I think you continue to see the price actions be interesting. Supplies remain very high, and just be very careful as you watch this market. With that, this is Jeremy Zwinger with the Rice Trader signing off, and hope you have a wonderful week.